Let's talk about something that's on a lot of our minds, especially if you're over 50, managing that blood pressure. You've heard it a million times, right? Cut down on salt, but the big question is how? How do you do that without your food tasting, well, bland and boring? In this explainer, we are going to pull back the curtain on where sodium is really hiding in your diet, and I'll share some super simple ways to slash your intake while actually making your food taste amazing. Okay, so when you think about cutting back on sodium, what's the very first thing you picture? I'm guessing for most of us, it's this little guy, right? The salt shaker, sitting on the dinner table. It seems like the most obvious culprit. But what if I told you that shaker is barely even part of the story? Get ready for this, because this number is pretty shocking. The salt that you actually sprinkle on your food, at the table or even while you're cooking, that only makes up about 5% of the sodium you eat. Another 5% comes from cooking at home. So that leaves a whopping 90% of the salt we eat coming from somewhere else entirely. And there's our answer. The real sodium overload isn't from what we're adding, it's what's already been added before we even buy the food. Think about it. Processed foods, restaurant meals, they are just loaded with salt. It's packed in there long before it ever gets to our plate. And this right here is the heart of the matter. We're going to call it the silent salt problem. And it has some pretty serious consequences that honestly most people just don't see coming until it's way too late. This quote really drives home just how serious this is. All that extra sodium is a huge driver of hypertension. That's high blood pressure. And there's a reason it's called the silent killer. You don't feel it. There are no symptoms while it's quietly damaging your heart, your arteries, and your kidneys. The damage is being done long before you'd ever know something is wrong. Now, check this out. This is the gap between what we should be doing and what we're actually doing. Health experts say for adults over 50, the ideal limit is just 1,500 milligrams of sodium a day. But the average American, we're taking in more than double that, over 3,400 milligrams, every single day. We are just blowing past the recommended limit. So the big question is, where is all this extra sodium coming from? Well, it is time to unmask the main culprits. And trust me, some of these are probably going to surprise you. All right, take a look at this list. These top 10 foods account for almost half of all the sodium we eat. Now, you're probably expected to see things like cold cuts or pizza on here, and they are. But look at what's sitting at the #1 spot. Breads and rolls. And even things you might think are pretty healthy, like poultry, are major sources. Let's just pause on that for a second. Bread. It's the perfect example of how this hidden sodium thing works. A single slice of bread doesn't taste nearly as salty as a potato chip, right? But think about how much of it we eat. A sandwich for lunch, a roll with dinner. It adds up incredibly fast, making it the single biggest source of sodium in the American diet. It's all about how often we eat it. So what can we do about it? How do we fight back? Well, it is time to put on your detective hat. Your best tool in this investigation is the nutrition label, and right now, we're going to learn how to crack the code. Okay, these food labels have their own language, but it's easy once you know the rules. Sodium-free is simple, basically none. But here's where it gets a little tricky. See where it says reduced sodium? That just means it has 25% less than the original version, which could still be a really high sodium food to begin with. So the real gold star you want to look for is the term low sodium. That's a guarantee it has 140 milligrams or less per serving. That's your target. And here's a fantastic little trick you can use when you're in the grocery store. It's a great rule of thumb. Just look at two numbers on the label, the calories per serving and the milligrams of sodium. If the sodium number is the same or less than the calorie number, it's probably a pretty good choice. It's a super fast way to weed out the major salt bombs without having to do a ton of math. And the detective work continues. Salt also loves to hide in plain sight, under different names. So when you're scanning that ingredients list, keep an eye out for anything that starts with the word sodium, like sodium benzoate. And don't forget about other culprits like MSG or even baking soda. Yep, that's sodium bicarbonate. They all add to that total number. Okay, we know where the salt is hiding. We know how to spot it on a label. But now for the fun part. How do we make our food taste incredible without it? Let's talk about reclaiming your taste buds and creating amazing flavor, no salt shaker required. You absolutely do not need salt when you've got these tricks up your sleeve. First up, citrus. A squeeze of lemon or lime juice adds a brightness that actually mimics the kick you get from salt. Second, herbs. Oh my gosh, fresh or dry, they add so much complexity. Think about fresh basil on tomatoes or rosemary on chicken. And third, don't be afraid of a shortcut.
Salt-free seasoning blends are fantastic for adding a big punch of flavor to just about anything.
So, what about those salt substitutes you see on the grocery store shelf? Well, regular table salt is a chemical called sodium chloride. A lot of these substitutes work by replacing that sodium with potassium chloride. It actually has a similar salty taste, which can kind of trick your brain.
Okay, I need you to listen very carefully here because this is a really important health warning. Because these substitutes are so high in potassium, they can actually be dangerous for people with certain health conditions like kidney problems, heart failure, or diabetes. So the bottom line is super simple. You absolutely must talk to your doctor before you even think about using one of these.
Whew, we have covered a lot of ground. So let's bring this all home and put it together in a simple, straightforward action plan that you can literally start using the next time you go to the kitchen.
All right, here it is. Your 4 key takeaways. Number 1, become a label detective. Hunt for that low sodium label. Number 2, focus on whole foods. Things like fresh fruits, veggies, and unprocessed meats are naturally low in salt. Number 3, get creative. Play with herbs, spices, and citrus to pack your food with flavor. And finally, and this is non-negotiable, always check with your doctor before trying a salt substitute.
So, I'm going to leave you with a little challenge. Based on everything we just talked about, what is just one, high-sodium food in your regular routine that you could swap out or maybe make differently this week? Maybe it's that canned soup or the deli meat for your sandwich. Just making one small change is how you start. What's yours going to be?